I'm Nicole.
I'm Geraldine.
I'm Lauren.
And we are
Doing the Damn Thing, an entrepreneurship talk show.
Hello everyone, and welcome to our latest episode of Doing the Damn Thing. So as entrepreneurs, we have the flexibility to actually work from anywhere, everywhere. But how many of us actually do it? So one of the things that we all really tried hard to do in our career is do working trips. So not just traveling and going to cool places, but actually making those trips productive, doing meetings, meeting new vendors, meeting new clients. So we're gonna dive into it a little bit. What kind of working trips have you guys taken?
You know, a lot of the working trips that I've been on are usually driven by if I have a client meeting set up already, which I really want to change. I'm really looking to change my perspective about like creating something into a working trip.
Oh, like you pick like a destination?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Geraldine and I, we basically 5 years ago or 6 years ago when we became business partners, we decided that we wanted to make it so we each could take 3 months a year off. Because that's along the lines of, you hear everybody say, oh, when you own a business, it really owns you. And, you know.
You don't want that because then it's sort of just like.
Well, it kind of defeats the purpose of entrepreneurship too, because you still then have a boss, but it's your business. So basically what we did is we started to set up all the systems for our business so that if any one of us were to, you know, just not be there for anything, you know, whether they're sick or who knows, family emergency, that people would know how to work it. So we did that for 5 years, like really just got our systems straight, built our team, trained our team. And then, so last year we finally did that. We went away, and that was more for a pleasurable thing. But while on vacation, I did do a little networking. I attended a conference for co-working because I met somebody who's opening the Impact Hub in Jakarta.
Oh.
In Indonesia. And so she was like, yeah, and she was going to Thailand, and that's where I was, and she was like, yeah, they have a conference there. So I went there, and so that was that was like kind of a working vacation.
Yeah, you went to a conference.
Yeah, see, in 2.5 months I did one business thing. That makes sense. But mostly it's been Geraldine and I going to places. We went and saw you in New York, or we all went to New York together, and that was a working vacation. We definitely reached out and made some appointments, and then you know, like flying to LA to see a client. And those are more, the ones to LA are like they're like
quick. Yeah. So I know for myself, for the magazine, I started doing working trips this year. So that was like a goal of mine, because I'm one of those people that have to be on a plane at least once a month, every month, you know, because I just get a little like antsy. I need to leave somewhere. I need to go see something. And so I decided, why don't I just start doing these like small working trips? But I was really strategic of where I wanted to go this year, in the sense of like, where already do I have like contacts and like supporters and people that could really introduce me to that city. So yeah, I did New York, and then I did Houston, I've done Seattle. So I wanted to keep it small this year, and then next year like grow more like international trips. But one of the things I did was really like planned it out, where I knew I was going to have a meeting. So I'm like, all right, I want to go to Houston. These are the people I want to meet. When can I meet them? And like coordinate with them. And like, but then also we say it's a working vacation, so you want to make sure like there's like sites you want to see and how it like can incorporate into your trip. So when I was for Houston, for example, like I saw the days that, you know, the people I was meeting, some of them might have like a 9 to 5. So maybe on that Thursday, I'm going to go work at like a co-working space. And it was really cool because then I met the owner of the co-working space, who knows like pretty much everyone, who's sort of like this like a guru kind of like personality, you know, just sort of like, he gave me like this spirituality book right off the bat. And I met this woman who wants to do like a podcast, but it was a really cool co-working space. And I got to see like a different part of Houston. And then Seattle, I got to meet my artist who has created artwork for the magazine. And I finally get to meet her in person, because I don't know about you guys, but sometimes you might work with people that you just never met before, and it's nice to put that face, and you're like, oh, this is how you are. Okay.
Well, also one thing I'd like to say about you is I remember at some point you mentioning that you look at your analytics and you know where your audience is, and that you've also kind of used that to be strategic about where you go too.
Yes, and so that's why I really also want to go to Miami this year, because I don't have a big audience in Miami, and I find that just so fascinating. Because
you don't, or you do?
I don't.
Oh, so you want to go figure out why?
I want to see why. Just because I've noticed there's a strong correlation. There's the cities that have really high Latino populations, I have like a bigger like support and audience. And Miami has a pretty high Latino population. but I don't have a big support
Well, it's
system.
primarily Cuban. Right?
Yeah.
So you get to go on the ground and like kind of check out what the vibe is and what are people talking about, and maybe even take the time to survey some of your clients while you're there.
Yeah.
Or our potential people.
Potential clients, meet people, go just fill out the vibe, you know. And going back to analytics, I don't know if you guys notice this, but like when you do travel and you're doing like a working trip, you see an increase in like your followers and people like an increase like in all your social media channels if you're posting and sharing a story, because people then see like your business is on the go. Yeah.
It's not because you're moving and like maybe it's like showing up in new feeds or something, or
Oh, that could be it too. I just assume they just like all of a sudden like the photos.
probably all of them.
Yeah.
But that's cool. And also hashtags that you use and stuff that like kind of tie you to locations.
Yeah. So where would you guys like to do a working trip?
I want to go to Atlanta.
Really? Go to Atlanta too, actually.
Well, when we were in New York for Fashion Week, when we were all there, we met some people from Atlanta, and they seemed hella cool. They were entrepreneurs, and it occurred to me, like, I've never had any reason to go there. It seems like a place that would be really cool. Then all of a sudden after that, I started always hearing people talk about Atlanta. Like, they were talking about how, like, you've never been to a nightclub until you've been to a party in Atlanta. Like, that's one thing, and I'm, like, really big on music, so.
Yeah, I feel like you would have, like, a blast there, like, just the music scene.
Yeah.
I think that would be really fun.
Of course, I'd want to meet other entrepreneurs and do other things, but that's one draw for me.
And I feel like this is such a random thing that I observed, but I feel like the state of Georgia maybe is having more money because they're like Queer Eye for the Straight Guy, or Queer Eye is like in Georgia. Tyler Perry movies are like Georgia, so I feel like they're giving money to like.
Well, it's also
creatives.
just cheaper, so people are moving to locations like that. So that's,
but like one of their sponsors is like the state of Georgia. Like there's like a.
Right on TV you see Georgia Peach or
I
whatever.
heard that they're doing a lot of filming in Oakland and also Atlanta. Like, those are the two hot spots for.
And Vallejo, they're opening
they are?
some video places.
Oh, yeah, that makes
Vallejo.
sense too.
Well, for me, I think I don't know if I definitely want to go to New Orleans. I'm not sure if
I love New Orleans.
I've never been there, and Miami. I also would like to go to Miami too, but I'm not sure how that would be positioned because I don't know what's going on with the business world there at this moment. So it would be just like doing some research beforehand and looking into that. I'm working to create my international speaking career. So I planned a trip in September and October to go for 2 months to Brazil and Argentina. I've been reaching out to people there and just like trying to make connections and solicit my services to do speaking engagements in the brand workshop too. And so that's pretty exciting too. And I speak Spanish and Portuguese, so it'll be like also my opportunity. I always like lamented not being able to use those language skills in my business, and now we're getting the opportunity to do that. So I think that's cool.
Yeah, and I love the fact that they legit, like when they tell you guys they make it a point to take these months off in their trip. Like when I start working with them, like I got an email and like we are gone, and I'm like, okay, they're gone. They're literally gone, which is great. It's not like a rude thing, but it's like they warn you beforehand, like we're going somewhere. Don't email us.
Or email us, but don't expect us to get back to you right away.
Response, which I think is such a good balance, right? Because like these working trips, what I love about them is that you are working, but then I feel like when I'm taking them, I'm doing like more like meetings or like conferences or meeting up with people instead of the email and the day-to-day grind. So it sort of breaks it up. It sort of gives you like that creativity,
Yeah.
And you and I were talking about this earlier about how like even if you own a brick and mortar, we're all consultants and kind of remote anyways. We can make our business remote, but having even a brick and mortar, you can make it so that you go and go to see suppliers in other places or check out markets like you were saying. Look for unique things to put in your store.
Because I know I have a friend that owns a coffee shop, and her and her husband, they went up to Seattle. There was like some conference up there, naturally Seattle coffee, right? So, and I thought that was really cool. And if you're a hotel owner, there's going to be conferences for that. But even if it's not just a conference, I think again going back and meeting with vendors, like you have a clothing store in here in Oakland, maybe making a trip to certain parts of Mexico where you can see like handmade stuff and see if you want to do some kind of partnership
and
there.
You can write it off. Then you get your vacation like tax free.
That's like the best part about
it.
It's all the write-offs. I'm like so excited about taxes.
That's an entrepreneur.
So I'm sure people in our audience are probably wondering, what are the steps? What are the things that they have to think about when they're looking to set up these work vacation trips?
Yeah.
thing. What first is figure out where you want to go. Like, you know, like what's your passion? What's going to make you excited? And I guess then look for opportunities relevant to your industry. I also like what you said about like the co-working spaces now. This is such an international thing. It's like basically like a singles club for entrepreneurs, but not singles dating, but just like, you know, because that's like you can just like go into one place and there's like all these business people in them.
So I agree. So one, figure out where you would like to go. So whether it's you're just picking a city that you really want to build contacts at, or you have contacts there, you know, really figure out like the cities you want to go to. Two is, again, look at your budget, like with any trip, because it is a working trip, and so you're probably going to do a lot more like going out to eat. You might be wanting to like treat people. So really looking at your budget, there might be just certain cities that are just out of your budget. New Orleans, by the way, is super, like it's one of the most expensive cities to fly to in the States from California. I don't know why, but it's just like I love New Orleans. But so figuring out your budget. And then 3 is once you figure out the dates that you want to go, start contacting the people that you have there and figuring out when you can meet with them during that time, right? Like I'm going to be there for like 5 days. Do try to go during like a work week, like a Thursday through Tuesday if it's a quick trip or something. Don't do a weekend trip because some of your contacts, even if they're fellow entrepreneurs, might still have a 9 to 5. Or, you know, they might have like families that they want to hang out with during the weekend. So give them some like days that they want to like see during the work week. So those would be some of my tips. Yeah.
Also, in addition to the co-working spaces, also there's all of the international organizations that we as business owners can belong to, like Business BNI, Business Networking International, Rotary. This one guy was telling me that he belongs to Rotary, which isn't necessarily business oriented. You could be a community member, but often there are business people that are involved with it. And he said that he went to another city, I think it was Italy somewhere, and like called the local Rotary chapter. Someone offered to pick him up at the airport. Like it created this whole community already.
That's sort of why I joined a co-ed fraternity. There's brothers everywhere, and they work, and it's a business fraternity. I'm a part of Alpha Kappa Psi, so there's like they work in so many different companies. So
everywhere. So you can just contact them, and it's like the association automatically lets you get in. Chamber of Commerces are really good to look at in the cities that you're going to, and internationally they might be called something different, but they all have some sort of similar organization that could be there.
And if you can't, if let's say I had some free time on one of my trips where I couldn't, no one could really meet up, like I had like a few hours, so then just going to like looking up events like on Eventbrite, things that are relevant to your career, and just going, you know. I know it's a little scary to go to places when you don't know anyone, but it's just like, you know, you just go. There's going to be free wine and cheese. Have a good time.
You make some new friends.
You make some new friends.
Another website could be meetup.com. So, you know, with meetup.com, they're intentionally wanting to meet with like-minded people. So that way you can go to, if you're a writer, a group for writers, or a group for entrepreneurs, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So that's also a good one.
And then once you're there, I think you were talking about a schedule to keep kind of in the, you know, in the morning.
Keep in the morning. So I try to do like work during the day, because again, it's still a trip. So there might be sites you want to go see. Go see those sites, and so make time for it on the weekends or in the evenings. I like to look at like the cool coffee bars to work at in that city, and I found like an amazing one in Seattle that was like, if I ever create a coffee shop, this is the type of one I want, because it not only was a coffee shop, it was like a really, so you could go and just have coffee, right? But then you could also have lunch, you can have dinner there, and there was also like a full bar, so you could literally spend all day there.
What's the name? Give it a shout out.
Mr. West or something? It was something like that.
We'll look it up.
I will look it up, and I'll put it in the description below. I really enjoyed it because, you know, some coffee shops, like random note, but you know, some coffee shops are like, oh yeah, you can have lunch and coffee here, but really it leans more towards one way. But this place was like, no, it's legit. Like I went there like at 11. Some people were having mocha and some people were having mimosa, and I'm like, to each their own.
Mochas and mimosas. That's a great name for a party.
That's a good name also for a coffee shop.
Yeah, mochas and mimosas.
And I just thought it was like such a brilliant idea. So yeah, I'll put the link in the description below of that coffee shop if you happen to be in Seattle. So let us know of any cool co-working spaces that you've been to across the country and in the world, and also any working trip tips that you guys may have. So you guys know the drill. You have to hit the red button, subscribe, ring the bell, like, and then share, comment, all that good stuff. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.